All right, another episode of Conversate After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's good with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Hit us up. You got a steamy story like we have today. Send it to us. We'll read it on the air, give you our opinion. You can also go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to old episodes, share it with a friend. All right. So, Tay,
Yep.
I got a story.
Okay. I hope it's juicy.
Get your opinion. I think I know what your opinion is going to be.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and read it. Dear Marv and Tay, so I have been friends with benefits with this guy for the last 2 years. When I first met him, he was not my type, but as I got to know him, we became cool and things started to happen. We never go out. We just call each other when it's time to do our do. We hook up and it's on. He goes on multiple dates. He hangs with a lot of women. He's a guy that has a lot of women friends. I'm not threatened by this because I don't want to be in a relationship with him. He went to Jamaica with a quote unquote friend, and I had no issue with it. I went to Jamaica and by myself, and I got my groove back. He asked me about it, and I was honest with him because we're not in a relationship, but we told one another that we would be honest about the things that we do. Last week, I went on a date with a friend. He called me, and I answered the phone, and I said, "Hey, I am on a date." He became livid. He asked me, did I have sex with the guy? I told him that it was not his business. And he has had an attitude with me, and he's been calling me and harassing me, telling me that I'm out here wilding out and that I shouldn't be doing that and I should be showing him some more respect. How should I respond?
Exactly how she did. It's none of his business. Unless he wants to move the relationship to something more exclusive, then who she dates and who she goes out with is really none of his business.
I think that she definitely needs to set those boundaries, right? And
Mhm.
I would consider maybe moving on because you can't change the terms of an agreement when you get mad and when you get jealous.
That
Now,
is true.
if you go hang out with somebody else and y'all don't do anything, that's on you. But when she goes out, if she decides to go there, then you need to make a decision. You need to make a decision where you can either say, "Hey, listen, I want you to myself. I would like to be exclusive," or, "Hey, this ain't for me. Let's go ahead and do something different." But I don't think berating her and calling and harassing her and trying to demean her about the decision she made with somebody else, I don't think that's the thing to do. And if I was her, I would definitely, probably consider moving on.
That's probably the best thing. It sounds like his feelings may have changed. Maybe, maybe. Um, Either his feelings have changed or his ego is bruised.
Probably, probably, probably more so the ego.
Okay.
Probably more so the ego. Because I think friends with benefit situations, they're touchy at times because you are friends.
Right.
You're a friend, and I know some friends that get jealous when their friends are with other friends. You had a friend like that?
I've never had a friend like that, but I've heard of situations like that, and I think they're crazy. But
Have you been a friend like that?
you said, have I been a friend like that?
Yeah.
No, no. Mm-mm.
I'm not either. As long as I can feel assured that you're not telling my business to your other friend. I think that's more of a woman thing though. Like guys, usually we got our set crew. We're not really rocking with other dudes, and that's really kind of a no-no for guys. Like, if I don't fool with this dude and you rock it
Mhm.
with him, I don't fool with both of y'all. Um, I know some of the women I know, they have different friend groups. And it's not like there's beef between the groups. They just don't mesh.
Now, I do know some women like that. That feel like if they have a beef with somebody, you need to have a beef with that person too, even if you and that other person have never had any issues.
I'll
But
say this. I don't necessarily feel like, yeah, I do. I feel like if I have a legitimate beef with someone, my beef is your beef. Because that's how I feel about my friends.
mhm,
Because I'm gonna ask the right questions. Remember, we talked about, like, some people you got to ask. Well, then what'd you say? Then what'd you do, right? And if they just and they beef, your beef is my beef. That's the rules when it comes to my crew, right? That's the
right.
rule. If it's legitimate. Sometimes, I may not like a person, like this one dude. I don't dislike him, but I'm just kind of cool on him. I don't respect him, and I said something, and my guys challenged me on it. And then when I said it, they was just like, come on, dude. And I was like, well, shit. Y'all go ahead and rock with him all you want. I don't fuck with him. My bad. you know,
No.
I don't fool with him. So, um, I feel that to an extent. Now, if it's somebody that I feel like I have legitimate beef with, and you caca and kikiing in their face, I gotta question. I gotta question your motives.
But see, then it depends on what it is. See, when I thought of that, I thought of a specific situation, and the beef that this young lady had with these other people was stupid, in my opinion. Now, if somebody do you wrong, and it's a legitimate, like, they have done you wrong. Yes, I'm gonna be like, because for to me, then that becomes a personality issue, and it's you never know when that person might do that same thing to me. So okay, I can get that. But if your beef is stupid, I'm not co-signing stupidity.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a tough situation, um, but for me, I'm not. If you got beef with somebody, I mean, my best friend, he has some dudes that I ain't necessarily fool with.
Hmm.
And I told her that. I was like, dog, I don't fuck with them dudes, man. And the good thing is he doesn't really like see them or hang out with them that much. And as we have gotten older, me and those guys, we have kind of moved past some of the little petty stuff that we had, beef over. Because most of it is, either it's over a woman, or I felt like you embarrassed me over a woman, or some shit. It's always over a woman. Like 95% of the time when dudes got beef,
It's
95% of the time it's over a woman, 5% it's over money.
okay.
Sometimes cats might get a little scrap on the basketball court or something like that, but most of the time dudes are scrapping over a chick. Most of
Okay.
the time women, what would be the percentage you put it on for women in terms of like beefing over a dude?
Um, Over a dude, I
Most of
don't,
the time it's over a dude.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
You
I
just
don't
don't.
know because
You just don't want to say it. You don't want to say
I don't know
it.
because I just I don't get into stupid stuff like that, and I try not to hang with women who get into stupid stuff over dudes. Like that's not those aren't the type of chicks that I hang with.
Yeah.
So I can't speak to that. I'm sorry, I can't speak to that.
Okay. Fix your earring. There you go. Bam. Um, have you ever beefed over a dude?
No, and I never will. Because I feel like if I have to beef with somebody over a guy, he's not my guy. So why am I beefing with you over him?
So you
I've
never
always felt
have you ever had somebody beef with you over a guy?
I've gotten uh what's the word I'm looking for? I felt the tension in the air
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
because of a guy. But again, if he's my guy, I don't feel like I should have to do that. I mean, I've never had that situation over somebody who was actually mine. And
That
I hate to sound possessive like that, but you know what I'm saying.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. So I think I did have beef with somebody over a chick. Thankfully, it never popped off. I was young. I was super young. I was probably like 17 or 18. And she was actively trying to play us off of one another. Like, I don't know if she used to date him. She was dating me at the time. I don't know if they used to date or if they were like friends or what have you, but like her and I were like having some problems. We were arguing, and like I came by her crib and he was over there, and she was trying to play it up as if, yo, you know what I mean? This is, trying to make it seem like it was something that it may have been, you never
Mhm.
know. They may have done something. I don't know. Then I seen dude later on, and it was clear that she was putting something in his head too, because I was feeling that heat, that tension was there,
Yeah,
and my crew was there, his crew was there, a lot of mean mug was going on. And then eventually one of his boys just like, yo, y'all don't need to be fighting over no chick. And I was like,
true.
true, you're right. Now I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna fight over a woman in most situations. I'm not gonna fight over a woman if it's like you messing with him, you messing with me, he can have you. He can go ahead and have you. But I will say, I will fight over a woman if dude is disrespecting our relationship. Now, if she's trying, yo, listen, I'm trying to keep this guy away from me. Woo to woo, yeah, we may mess around in the past or what have you. And God, he's not respecting the boundaries. He's not respecting, like, no, like, leave us alone. Yeah, then we're gonna have to do what we got to do. But just in terms of like, I'm fighting for your love, no, I'm not doing that. Because here's the thing, I fuck
Mm,
around, get my ass whooped, and you still gonna be with him.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're not doing that. That's just things you do when you're young. I think your expectations for relationships when you're young, I think you may tolerate more stuff than you normally do when you get to our age now. What do you think?
I definitely agree with that. I think when you're younger, you don't really know what you want. And I think it takes, in some cases, it can take some trial and error to kind of figure out what you want. Like the whole thing of women liking bad boys. Yeah, you like them until they do you dirty. I never
You ever
liked bad.
dated a bad boy? You ain't never dated a bad boy.
I have, but I didn't know until we were actually in the relationship that he considered himself a bad boy. I met him when he was at work and he was in a suit and tie handling business. That's the dude that I liked.
So what type? What does he watch the show?
No, I don't think so. Mm-mm.
So was he slanging and banging, or was he doing something different?
He did a little bit of that too.
So you had a corporate thug, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, he's dating Stringer Bell.
But
I got
but what I liked about him was what I actually go for, which is like the typical nerdy guys. I like I like nerdy guys. So we talked about this last episode. I like to learn stuff from the guys that I date. And he was a nerd, but he had a little, he was from the streets, so he still had that side to him.
here's the thing about it, and I tell people this. Most like real deal gangsters, criminals, they're the nicest people you would ever meet.
Yeah.
They are for real. They're real respectful. They're respectful to your mother. They're nice. All that. They don't do a whole lot of wolfing and hollering about I'll do this and I'll do that. That's how you know somebody ain't a gangster. But
Yeah.
those real gangsters, they may be nice, but when it's time to harm you over that money or whatever, they no question they would do it.
Right. Right.
No question. And they ain't gonna announce it either. So yeah. Yeah. I when I was younger, I think when I was younger, I dealt with a lot of like self-esteem issues.
Hmm.
I tell people I grew up in the Midwest. In the Midwest, big dudes was not popping.
Okay.
Were big dudes popping on the East Coast? Do you consider the DMV East Coast or the South?
I consider us East Coast. Even though I know we're below the Mason-Dixon line, I consider us more East Coast than Southern.
I consider y'all East Coast too.
Yeah.
So
Um, I'll say
were big dudes popping?
it really depends on your personality. I would say maybe not, but when Heavy came out and then Biggie came out, it opened the door for them more. But it still depended on your personality. Like you had to have the bomb personality.
You know, first of all, fuck y'all. And then second of all, you know who really, really kind of kicked it off with big dudes in the Midwest?
Who?
Wasn't Heavy.
Really?
Even though Heavy was kind of like the stereotype. Like for me, I get every big dude out here I get compared to, right? It
Right.
must be like the white boy who got, you remember the white boy that tries to act black. He's like one
Mhm.
minute he's like, oh, you look like Vanilla Ice, and then the next minute, oh, he look like John B. You
Right,
know,
right.
so I got the other day, this girl, guess who she said I look like?
Who?
I know you a church girl, so you know what I'm talking about. She said Rance Allen. I said, if you don't get out my face.
No, no, you look nothing like Rance
Not
Allen.
that like I said, yo, get the hell out of my face. And I thought she, most time when they say silly stuff like that, it's like they
Mhm.
low key trying to flirt, but she looked like she was a stud. So I couldn't. Maybe she was trying to flirt. I don't know, but nah. So Heavy was like the prototype because like Heavy
Mhm.
could dress. There's like guys, there's like celebrities, characters that most dudes sort of looked up to in the 80s and 90s.
Mhm.
Theo was one of them, Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Right.
Theo could dress. He had, the fly girlfriends, you know what I mean? Theo was that dude.
Yeah.
To an extent, Dwayne Wayne, but not really, because he was kind of more nerdy, but he made it cool to be like, go to college though, because Theo wasn't that smart. Dwayne Wayne was the nerd, right? For me, Heavy was that because Heavy was tall, he was a big dude like me, good looking, and he could dance. I could dance.
Right.
I'm a lot of my feet, I can move, whatever.
Right.
So you got that. Biggie, not so much, because Biggie has swag, but Biggie wasn't attractive though. You never hear anybody say
Right.
Big was, even though he had chicks,
Right. He said himself he wasn't attractive. So
like ugly as ever. However, I stay
exactly.
coochie down to the socks. So like you said, he had to be fly.
Mhm.
The dude that really opened it up for big dudes, Ruben Studdard.
I can see that. I
Ruben.
can see that.
And it wasn't that Ruben didn't really have swag. Ruben looked like a mama's boy, but he could swing, but he could sing.
Mhm.
He could sing. So yeah, but anyway, so you said big dudes, they had to have the bomb personality.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
some moved towns down south where it was just like, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? Like I'm really this is where this is my tribe. This is where I belong.
Yeah, yeah, definitely down south, I could see a bigger guy having a lot of success down south.
Yeah.
Actually, for women too. I think the southern I don't know for sure, but because you hear about the corn-fed, bread women and stuff. You hear that more from people in the south than you do anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah. I think big women get clout anywhere though.
Yeah.
Now they might be more closet chubby chasers Midwest and in the East Coast.
Right, right.
Definitely ain't popping as a big person in the West Coast.
Okay.
Definitely not.
I haven't spent too much time. I've been on the East Coast a few times, but I haven't spent much time, so I don't know. I don't really know the vibes out there like that.
Yeah, no, you definitely not popping out there. So my point in bringing that up was a lot of times my expectations and things that I accepted or tolerated was because I was a big dude and I didn't necessarily believe that I felt like some of the more attractive chicks may have been out of my league, if I'm honest. I'm gonna be
Okay.
100% honest and be 100% vulnerable. Now, fast forward when I left my hometown, went to college, got a decent job, you know, got more confidence in who I was when I came back. It's gonna sound cliche, but it's true. It's my truth. All the chicks that was dating the dope dealers, the bad boys,
Mhm.
hey Marv, how you doing? Where you at now? Nah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I did entertain a couple of them. But now you done had a baby by Mr. Dope, man. Go ahead and rock that out. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Go ahead and rock that out. I'm not. So let me ask you this. Your expectations as a young person. Well, I talked about mine. I tolerated probably stuff I shouldn't have when I was younger. Has your expectations as a young person changed versus your age now? Not like you old now, but when you were younger, were your expectations different than they are now?
I don't necessarily know if they have changed. What I will say is kind of like you. I don't think it may have been because of my self-esteem. I don't know, but I know I tolerated a lot more when
Mhm.
I was younger than I do now. Like now, I'm I can't
I
deal
feel
with it now. I'm too old to deal with stuff now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, and this is so much stuff to talk about. Do you think that we are too quick to cut people off now because we've been so healed and we've been through therapy and we know what our triggers are? Because you and I are part of a discussion. A couple weeks ago, people were talking about buzzwords that people think folks use too much, like gaslighting and triggered and whatever. um, do you think we've overcorrected and that we're not giving people enough grace, or you think this is how it should be?
I do think there is a tendency for people to overcorrect, and I don't think it's necessarily all to do with therapy and healing. I think some people just from being in toxic situations, they tend to spot them. But I think sometimes something may appear to be toxic, but they don't give it enough time to really see.
Hmm.
I may not be phrasing that right with the using the word toxic.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
something can remind you of somebody that you may have dated in the past, and this is a totally different person. So the way that the first person treated you may be totally different from this person, even though this one trait may be similar.
yeah. I'm reading a book right now that deals with attachment styles,
Hmm.
and it says there's three different attachment styles. Secure, meaning you have no problem showing love and being in a relationship or what have you. I think the other one is called anxious. It's either anxious or insecure.
Anxious.
I think it's anxious. It's
Mhm.
anxious. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it's called anxious.
I've heard about them, but I don't know them,
Yeah,
verbatim.
there's a book that I'm reading. So it's secure, anxious, and avoidant. And
Mhm.
you ever seen people who are like self-sabotage, like the runaway brides? Like that to me is avoidant. You smiling.
I used to say that movie, that movie, and She's Gotta Have It, both chronicled my life at points. But
Okay. And then there's the anxious, and I think that I'm still getting into the book, but I feel as if I blend between anxious and secure. Right now, I probably avoid it because I'm in a phase of my life. It's like, no, I don't want to be in a relationship. I kind of want to figure myself out. Now it's not the right time for me to be in a relationship. But I think because of some of the things that have happened to me, at some point I left being secure and started being anxious, where I was just like, are you happy? Is there anything else I can do? And that's not really a way to live life and be in a relationship. You should just be secure that, I love this person, they love me, and we rocking it.
right, yeah, I get that. I think for the majority of my life, I've talked about this before. I've dealt with commitment phobia, if you
Mm.
want to use that as a word. So I've definitely been avoidant, but I can say if I can really feel that a person loves me and is down for me, I can be that secure person. So I kind of, you know, go between the 2.
So between secure and avoidant,
Mhm.
yeah.
But like I said, if I feel something is off, I shut down immediately, and that avoidant comes back.
I think that's where I'm at now. And I think it's because I've been done dirty a couple times.
Mhm.
I feel as if I'll be the first to say I'm a man with pride. My pride and my ego, it matters to me. And I feel like if somebody got over on me, it wounds me because I feel like, damn, how the fuck I let them, do this to me? You go from being like hurt to like mad to like enraged. And I'm and I'm working on trying to get past that, because people say you need to forgive. I don't know. I can forgive, but not forget. So that's something. And I don't need to be in a relationship till I can get past that because I've been that dude who's gotten into a relationship and still pissed at the relationship that I just got out of.
Right.
And when I was bringing that stuff up, I was so and so did this to me, and then finally it was like, hey, look, stop bringing that up. That ain't me. I'm my own person. And I was like, damn, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. So do you think? So we talked about like overcorrection. Do you think that people start to tolerate more as they get older because they feel as if time is running out and maybe there are less options?
Um, I think that can happen. People can get to a point where they get desperate, especially if they envision their life a certain way and it doesn't reach that point. Like maybe if they wanted to get married, wanted to have children, and that hasn't happened yet, and then especially with a lot of women, you have that ticking time clock, and so you can kind of get desperate, and that can lead you to it. But because of all of the therapy talk going around now, the healing talk, I think you have a lot more people who are willing to kind of be by themselves until they find someone who they can align with.
Is there anything that you have decided that you will tolerate that you wouldn't tolerate when you were younger when it comes to entertaining a new partner?
Yeah. So I've said it on the podcast before. I grew up very churchy. And so that was one of the things, like I had to have a guy who was like into church, like going every week. And the older I get, the more I'm like, as long as he's the same religion,
Okay.
good. I'm good. And I did try one time to go with, go outside the box and date somebody who was a different religion. And that was just, no, I'm not doing that.
Like,
But
were they challenging your beliefs or it just didn't feel right?
that which he in his pitch, that was one of the things he said he would never do, was like put down my religion or challenge me on it. And that, come to find out he kind of did do that. So
People try to come at Christians like all the time.
all the
I
time.
think it's just like, dude, I ain't trying to convert you,
Yeah.
like this. Well, you guys think this, you guys think that. Man, listen.
But
Then
also one of the things I've always felt like this in relationships, because you're two totally different people and you're trying to come together to maybe build a life as one. There are so many issues that come with that anyway. So anything you can minimize, to not have to deal with that situation, I
right.
feel like the more you can minimize, the better. So that's one area that I'm
That's
like, nah,
the less obstacles, the better.
yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Or the least
So
amount of obstacles, the better. Yeah.
right. So my religious beliefs or faith system is something that I'm just not willing to compromise on anymore. But they don't have to be as committed as me, I should say.
So you cool with like you getting up on Sunday morning and they staying in bed?
Yeah. I do need you to come every now and then, but
I
but it doesn't have to be a every Sunday thing
got
for
you.
me.
So I was talking to a friend of mine, and she probably is about 5'4", 5'5", and she only likes men who are 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", and above. We've talked about this numerous amount of times, right?
Right.
And she opines about how she hasn't been married, she hasn't been in that relationship, and she says I like bigger guys because they make me feel safe.
Hmm.
And my response to her was, you know, little guys can fight too. They can fight, they can shoot, so they can keep you safe as well, right? There's some big dudes who's punks that don't can't fight, don't want to fight, to try to defend you or what have you. And she was like, wait, these little dudes be coming at me. She called them little dudes. She said short dudes. I call them little dudes because I'm tall, right? But she said I probably would have had a husband where I'd entertain someone who isn't 6 foot tall. Maybe if I'd have entertained the guy who's 5'9" and I'm 5'4", but I want to wear 6-inch heels. And I'm like, well, you might need to just go with the, I don't know women's heels, but go with the kitten heels or whatever. So y'all can still match up or what have you. So she's maintaining that. She's like, I'm still gonna hold out for a guy who's tall.
That was one of the things that was on my list in my early day, in my teenage years, I should say, when I first put my list together, was 6 feet above, 6 feet and above. I've only had one boyfriend who was 6 feet and above. He was 6'1". After that, everybody else was 5'9", 5'10", 5'11".
5'9", 5'10", 5'11". So you
Right.
totally dated short guys.
Except for my first boyfriend. He was
You both
he was
dated
six
short guys.
one.
These are 5'10", 5'11" dudes swear they tall.
Now I've had situationships with guys who were tall, but yeah, my actual like bona fide official relationships, they were all kind of shorter than I would have wanted, I should say. But my thing was, as long as I can wear my heels and they're still taller than me, I'm good.
So what is it about the height? Is it security or this is attractiveness?
Both, but a lot of it has to do with feeling secure. I like when I hug a guy and I feel like I'm being enveloped, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. I got you. I got you. But you realize though that guys my height, 6'3" and above, probably like I think can't say for certain, like 3% of the
Which is
population.
why which is why I changed that very quickly because I was like, I would never date if that's my criteria.
Yeah. Yeah. And that, my son, I'm 6'3", so my son's about 6'3" and a half, 6'4". When he reached 6 foot, you're supposed to like pour into your children, right? And I told him, I
Mhm.
said, hey man, you're a handsome dude, but never forget, you also tall. And that really, really matters. It matters in business, it matters in relationships, because a lot of times in business, optics matter.
Right.
You can't, the attractive person, the tall dude, they're the ones who get like put into leadership positions. And so it does have its benefits being tall. Definitely so, definitely so. So the guy who was tall versus the guy, that might not be a fair question. Because you said the guy that was tall that was your first boyfriend?
Right.
Okay. But you said you had situationships with guys who were tall.
Right.
Okay. The sex with the tall guy versus the short guys, was there a market difference? Were the tall guys bringing it better than the short guys, or was it about the same?
It's the same, which is another reason why it doesn't matter to me anymore. Like I said, as long as I can still wear my heels and he's taller, I'm good.
Okay. So if you had to say one was better than the other, who has the nod?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like,
It's
last show we talked about like syncing up. Remember you talked about you had a guy and it's just y'all, the way y'all connected when it was
he
time to
was short. He might not have even been 5'9" now that I'm thinking about it, but he never made it to boyfriend status. So I don't know.
Man, that's toxic right there. He didn't make it the boyfriend, but y'all fit. Toxic.
That's a long story. I'm not even gonna get into it right now.
That's cool. That's cool. So you said it doesn't matter each way. You can't say what one got you to an orgasm more than the other.
No,
Are you
no.
one of those women that says like I can get mine regardless, or do you need the guy to be able to get you there?
I need him to help, but at this point, I know what gets me there. So I can direct him to help me get there.
When you say direct him, are you giving like instructions, like do this, don't do that, or are you just moving? Are you just angling your body to where it can get there?
Both. Because sometimes you need to be verbal, and sometimes it's just
Hmm.
switching of the bodies or
Positioning.
positioning.
Yeah.
Right.
So whose responsibility is it for your orgasm? Is it yours or is it his?
This goes back to expectations when you're younger versus older. So when I was younger, I used to think that it was the guy's responsibility because we're not really taught about sex and what's supposed to happen
We're not.
in relationships.
Right.
And so I think as women, I think that is one of the things that we're made to believe that the guy is supposed to get us there.
Yeah, we have no damn clue.
Exactly. Exactly.
So any orgasm that I gave before the age of like 37, 38,
Hmm.
pure luck.
Okay.
Pure luck. Because it wasn't until like I actually studied and read about the woman's body, and I was like, oh, okay, so I need to do this. I need to focus on this. I need to do this. The good thing is when you're younger, you got that staying power, so you can, eventually you can kind of figure it out.
Right.
But yeah, when you start getting your mid 30s, you should, know a woman's body and know how to, watch how she responds to what you're doing. Hopefully, at this age, guys are doing that. I don't know. Some women say they're not.
It depends on the guy. I mean, you there are a lot of guys out here, and I'm sure you can say this from a guy's perspective about women too. There are a lot of guys out here who do not pay attention and who don't like to take instruction. So, some woman has led him to believe he's the best on earth. So he thinks that when you may be different from this woman, so he's gonna have to change some things for you, but he thinks because he's the best with her that what he's doing is the best.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
But the older I get, the more I study on my own. And I told you I follow a lot of sex therapists, sexologists or whatever. And all of them kind of say you're responsible for your own. If it's knowing your body, like actually getting to know yourself, it's only one way to get to know yourself.
Yeah.
Getting to know yourself so that you know how you get off, and then being able to tell somebody how to help you get there or getting there yourself.
Okay.
So now that I'm older, I do believe that it is your responsibility.
So is that for guys too?
Yeah.
Have you ever had a guy that you couldn't get off?
Well, I'll say orally only one. Other than that, I've never experienced it.
Do you think it's because of you or just because they was gonna pop off regardless of who was there? Do you think it was because of your skill set?
I've been told it's because because of my skill set. I mean, I can only go by what I'm told. So,
Yeah, that's probably not. That's I put you on the spot with that.
but,
Um,
I mean, that's a valid question, and I mean, I guess we're told that men can get theirs anyway, anyhow. So it could be just that I don't know if that's true or not, but it could be just that a man's going to come no matter what.
mhm.
So I can only go by what I'm told.
I, I, I mean, I've talked about this before in terms of like that staying power. Like
Right.
I'm one of those dudes, right? And I know how I can get myself off with the woman, and I enjoy the whole experience. There are some women who take it personal if they're not able to get a guy off. Like if they can't get you off, with the vagina or they can't get you off with head, it affects their self-esteem. They're like, well, damn, you know, what am I doing wrong?
Right, right.
And when I try to say, nah, you good, you know, like I mean, I know what to do to get it there, right? And um the journey is I enjoy that, you know, tremendously. Why you laughing? Like,
Because usually when I say that, I get the side eye from you.
what you mean, the journey?
Yes.
Well, I mean, well, I stole that lingo from you,
Hmm.
but for me as a guy, because of the pressure that y'all put on us as men, you're saying now, and I respect what you're saying in terms of you're responsible for your own orgasm, meaning women and men. But women put a lot of pressure on dudes when it comes to sex. Like
I
we're
agree.
supposed to be able to, hey, look, get your dick hard on command. Um, fuck if you didn't work the 18-hour shift. Maybe you depressed that day. Maybe you just like, yo, I'm tired. Maybe I'm just not in a good mood. I'm just not in a good mood and I don't want to do it. There's a lot of women that feel like, well, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why? Because most guys they want it all the time. Well, damn, I ain't most dudes. And right now I'm just not feeling it. And there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. There's a whole lot of pressure that comes with that. And I don't think a lot of guys are willing to admit that because there's this new trend on social media where that women are calling guys sassy. And back in the day, it was like the whole toxic masculinity piece. It was like, oh, like what you mean? Like, so for an example, a guy and a girl go out on a date, and the dude says, "Well, I'm gonna order a strawberry margarita." She's like, "What you doing? Order a strawberry margarita?" A real man would take shots, or a real man would drink a beer. And it's that type of pressure that I think women put on dudes that's counterproductive.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But those statements don't always come from women. There be some men in those comments sections too that say stuff like that. He ain't a real man because he doing this. That ain't what real men do.
I'm probably guilty of that too, because I'm a firm believer that men don't wear open toe sandals. That's a feminine ass style, dog. Not you do unless you were on a beach or a
Hmm.
public shower. Men shouldn't be wearing no public sandals. That nah, bro. That ain't what. Especially if you're a dude and you walking and the back of your sandals flapping on your foot like a little girl and stuff. Like nah, bro. So I'm probably guilty of that too. But when it comes to men saying stuff like that, it's easy for us to be like, man, shit, fuck off, dude. I'll do what I want to do. But when it comes from a woman,
I can
question
see how that
your
holds some weight.
manhood and your masculinity, that hits different.
Yeah, yeah, I can
That
see that.
that hits a lot different. That hits a whole lot different. So I don't know, man. I guess, and I think because of that, us as men, if I don't get you off, the consequences of me not getting you off is much more dire than you not getting me off.
Right, right. And I do believe, and I've been guilty of this. Um, Women will kind of um put it will kind of dismiss a guy prematurely because maybe the first or even second session didn't go well. Well, along with that is that we don't know each other. And like I said, we're not really taught how to have sex. So we have to get to know each other. The sex could become awesome later. We don't know because we just dismiss people.
Are you guilty of that, Tay?
I've said it many times. In my younger days, I did not give second chances. If a guy didn't bring it that first time, oh well. Nice knowing you.
What if it was your fault?
It's never my fault. What do you mean?
Hey, okay. Have you ever been the reason why the sex wasn't good that night?
Not that I can say one time, yes. And it was me trying to move on faster than I wanted to, and she just was not working. And it was a guy that I had been with previously. So I was like, I liked him. I knew I liked him, but she wasn't working. So I do know that situation was my fault.
Wait, so you was trying to have sex? Y'all had sex before?
Yeah, before a relationship I was in, he and I met. He was a little fling or whatever. And then after the relationship was over, my feelings were still wrapped up in that relationship. And so, but I was trying to move on faster than I probably should have. And she was like, "No, we don't want him. We want the other." So she wasn't working
Damn, for real?
for real.
And it
I mean,
didn't.
now that now that I know, I probably should have just been like, "Man, we can go to CVS and get some lube real quick and
So what?
keep the party going." But she
But
just not working.
but your mind is the sex organ that matters.
Right. My mind was connected. My mind and her was connected, saying, "We want him. We don't want this guy."
So then, why did you feel like you wanted to do it then? Just because he was there?
Because I knew I needed to move on. The
Ah,
relationship was over. I needed to move on.
so you was trying to get over somebody
Yeah,
else by
by
getting
getting under.
under somebody. Okay, okay,
Yes, and it wasn't working for me.
I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, I've been to blame for some bad sessions. Couple times, popped off too quick.
Mhm.
Popped off too quick, and then other times I should have just said no.
Okay.
I was tired.
Right.
Tired. Like literally, I was just like physically tired. I wanted to go to sleep, but we had had ups and downs in the relationship, and some women, when the guy says no, I don't want to have sex tonight, it leads to suspicion of other things happening. So I had told her I was tired before, and that led to, well, what you doing? Who you
Mhm.
seeing? What's going on that you don't want to have sex? I mean, this goes back to that pressure that women can sometimes put on men. So in my mind, I was like, I don't want to deal with that stuff no more. So let me just try to go through the motions. And when you just try to go through the motions, it ain't you really just going through the motions.
Right.
And I mean, I don't think she enjoyed it because I didn't enjoy it. And the reason why was I wasn't at my best. I was tired. I just really wanted to go to sleep. So, and I think women probably do that more than men do, but it's
Mhm.
easier for y'all to pull that off than it is for men.
Maybe.
It is.
No.
It is.
You talking about just going with the motions of
Yeah.
having sex?
Yeah. You ain't never just went through the motions.
No.
You never been in a relationship. Okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario. This is the scenarios happen all the time.
Okay.
Wake up with that morning wood. You trying to pop it off. She's sleepy. And you like, yo, what's up? You know how dudes, dudes start rubbing it on your butt, on your thigh, whatever, trying to get you there. And just like, look, come on, man. Come on. And you trying to get off, but she's just kind of like, just do what you gotta do so I can go back to sleep. You've never been in that situation? Maybe
No.
maybe I'm telling on myself. I might need to cut this short.
No, I know. I do know that a lot of women are like that. I'm just not one of them.
That might be one of those things that happen when you marry type deal.
Could be.
In some years, or yeah, that might be one of those type of situations. So yeah.
I've never been married, so I can't speak on that.
Yeah, I just told on myself when it came to that.
No, I mean I've heard it from women. I've heard it from women who've just been in relationships. So I can't say it's just married women. But it's just never been my testimony.
Because you always ready to go, or because you be like, nah, I don't want to do it.
Usually always ready to go.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Tay, we didn't start the show like we normally do with the conversation card. So let's end it with the conversation card.
Okay. I'm gonna go biggest pervert.
Okay.
I think he has something similar to that one. Hold on. Oh gosh. Have you ever had sex with someone after a long workout and no shower?
Hey, yes. That's why I tell you said, "Oh God," because she knows that that's one of my kinks right there. Dog. Hey, I'm all about that business. Now, when I say this to folks, it's not every time. It's not.
Mhm.
It's not every time. Um, and I think we talked about. Have we talked about this on the show, or just me and you talked about this offline?
I think it was offline. I don't think we talked about it on the show.
Something about when your gal come home and she glistening with that sweat. I just want to take her down. Right, listen, we ain't even got to. I can wash the sheets, or we can get down on the floor. But I want you right here, right now. And when I say you, I want all of you. You know, all of you. And I thought I was weird when I said this, but then like my homeboy was like, "Nah, I like that shit too." And maybe it's the pheromones or what have you. And most women be like, "Nah, bruh, I'm not with that. I don't feel comfortable with that." And I'm not asking you to do it all the time, but every now and again, you come home from that gym, you funky, sweaty, whatever. Go ahead, come here. Go ahead, come here. We're gonna go ahead and knock this out. For real, for real. You ain't never did that, Tay?
In my younger
Let
days.
me ask you this. Have you ever met a guy like me who likes that type of shit?
No. No, 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 no. In one of my relationships, we used to work out together like almost every day.
Uh,
So, it was a thing when we got home, it would happen. But again, I was young. I don't ask me to do that now. I'm like, no, let me hop in the shower real quick and then we can go.
thought you said you was always you always ready to go.
Yeah, after the shower, I'm still ready to go.
Right now. Right now.
No,
So
that's another one of those things that should change from me being younger to me being older. I would feel more comfortable with a shower.
so if your dude come home from the gym, say he been hooping all day or he been lifting, he come home with some sweaty balls, you gonna suck on
Nope,
him?
no. Shower's right there. I can meet you in there. But the
Damn.
shower's right there.
Yeah, he got the testosterone flowing, the pheromones. He gonna put it on you good. By the time you get in the shower, all that shit's gonna go down, and it's gonna be some regular sex.
I can bring it right back up. He'll be all right.
Yeah. So if you like to you like to work out and then get towed down, inboxes at CVAD at gmail.com. Only if you're a lady though. But anyway, tell how they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you want to be a guest on the show, or you have a topic you want us to cover, you have a story you want us to read, need advice, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe, and leave us a comment. Let us know how we're doing.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Let's talk old episodes, and we'll have you next time. Peace.
Bye.